Hey there, guys. Sean Michael here from WinBeta, and welcome back to episode, was it 53 of the WinBeta Podcast?
50-something. We're at that point in which we're losing
Happy
count.
anniversary again? For the week of February 19th, 2016, with me is co-host Zach Bowden, as always.
Hello, everybody.
And this week we will talk about a wide variety of stories. We'll have a special emphasis on Windows 10, as always, because we have Redstone builds for PCs, and then we have mobile builds that are non-insider, or as I call them, outsider builds. Then we have other things like Zach just got a new device this week. We talk about that. Some more rumors on device we've talked about before, and all sorts of other stories. But before we dive into there, how you doing this week, Zach?
Not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, you know, it's all right. I can tell. Let me get this out of the way right now. I have committed to using timestamps this week.
Yes. So for those of you who are asking for timestamps on the, I guess, audio and video, you will get them.
So what I'm going to do, Zach's going to post the video, like tonight, like right after we're done here. Then I am going to take an hour out of my good day, you know, where I could be doing other things and actually earning my paycheck. And I'm going to listen to our whole podcast, or at least jump around, and do timestamps, and we will put them into the YouTube, and I guess SoundCloud, Zach, can we do that?
Yeah, I think we can do that on SoundCloud.
All right, well, at least the YouTube. We'll try the Zach, or try the Zach. We'll try the SoundCloud as well. So we will do that this week. But as I told Zach in pre-show, I demand at least 15 people comment on being grateful for it, or it's probably just going to go away.
Yes, Sean needs to have the feedback that people are happy about it. Otherwise,
I just want to know it's worth it, because like it doesn't take forever. But people are like, timestamps. I want timestamps. That's fine. People want it. If it really helps you, that's your thing. It probably doesn't take me that long after I figure out a system. But I want like 10 to 15 people commenting saying, "Oh, timestamps. I'm so grateful."
That's all going to be the comments now. Every week.
And then at least one till the end of time. Every week I want somebody thanking me for timestamps.
You know, I say I'm okay this week. I'm actually quite upset and hurt because Microsoft didn't invite me to their Surface Book launch event.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, what happened?
They forgot about me, apparently, or something. They emailed me saying, "Oh, we're so sorry that you didn't get an invite, but you are on the list for attending these events. Just I guess you weren't alerted that there was a party." I was like, "Oh, this is so sad." And people on Twitter last night were like, "Oh yeah, look at all this champagne. Look at this Surface Book over here." And I'm just sitting here like, well, I guess I can go play with the new build. And
now you couldn't have gotten like a last minute invite, because we knew about it like a day or two in advance.
I didn't.
Well, I saw it on Twitter like a day before it happened.
Who tweeted about it?
Maybe it was the day. Maybe it was the day of. I'm not sure.
The day of was a bit too late for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it was the day
hello,
before, I
hello.
would have been like,
I'm here right now. Let me in.
I'd have been like, hang on. So I emailed them just as the party was starting, and they were like,
Just
"Oh, yeah."
show up at the door, and they're like, "You weren't on the list, bruv," and you're like,
Apparently, if I had shown up, I would have been let in because I would have been on the list. I just didn't receive an invite. It's just I don't understand. UK Microsoft, yay! No, I appreciate what they do. No, and they guaranteed that I'd be invited to all the parties in the future. So there you have it. You know what? We should talk about the new build that I played with.
Yeah, I guess we can. Yeah, Redstone stuff. Go nuts.
Build 14267 was released yesterday for Windows Insiders in the fast rank for desktop, obviously. No mobile builds just yet. Still, Microsoft. I've seen so many people every week getting more and more mad at Gabe about not releasing a mobile build. Deary me. So yes, this new build actually has some features we can talk about for the first time in Redstone's history, pretty much. We have a few new changes, most of them in Edge. I did write about these features earlier in the week, which nobody seemed to pick up on, but I did write about it. We had, for Edge, we have Edge favorites bar improvements, so you can now have icons instead of just the full bookmark bar title in the bar. You can also clear Edge browsing history after each session, so instead of browsing in private mode, you can just tick on a box, and every time Edge closes, all your history and data is wiped from Edge, and when relaunching the program, you'll obviously have a brand new, browser session with no history or anything going. Download prompts, so you can now save as a download, which was weirdly missing from Edge ever since it was relaunched in July. Yeah, so you can now download something and actually press save as instead of it just automatically downloading to your downloads folder. The messaging and Skype app got some improvements. You can now attach photos or take a new one with a single click in the Skype conversation, which the Skype app still sucks. So
yeah,
pretty poor.
you and that messaging app, you don't get along very well.
No, we do not. And Cortana got a button, a music button. So just like a Windows Phone 8.1, you can now listen for music straight from the Cortana home area. And that's the same for mobile as well. So that's very, very nice. Apart from that, that appears to be it for this build. Still, it's a changelog of features that we can actually talk about. And and of course, more features will be on the way. So I guess you didn't install this build, but I guess these new features are good.
Yeah, and I think you're starting to see some of the groundwork. I saw in your video breakdown the web notifications on the way, though they're not here yet. But the ticker or the pill icon, as I call it, is there.
Yeah, the tick box for it is in the about flags, although they're laying the groundwork for it, so it doesn't actually work yet.
Though I personally find web notifications to be a bit irritating, but people do like them. So.
People do like them, yeah.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of different notifications. If you have a Facebook app or a Twitter app, and you had notifications coming through your browser and Windows 10 and your phone and your HoloLens and your Xbox, it's just a lot of. Then your Amazon Echo starts reading things to you. It's just a lot of things. But I'm glad that some of the features from these modern browsers competing with Edge, or that Edge trying to compete with, are going to come to Edge soon.
Yeah, I did a video on this build because I actually could, but I didn't edit it because I never usually edit the build videos. And there's good reason for that. It's because sometimes it's for bugs, and obviously you need to showcase bugs and stuff and slowness. Other times it's because I'm lazy.
What was this one?
This one was a bit of both. No, it was more lazy because there was no issues here. What happened in the video is that I forgot. My mind went blank for a minute. I was trying to search for a program, and I couldn't remember what to search. So I just kind of went. I left it in. It was only about 10 or 15 seconds of me going, "What should I search for?" But I left it in, and the entirety of the comments were like, "This is a ridiculous video. Why have you uploaded this? These guys must be new to the channel or something." Because if you watched my original Windows 8 build videos, they were unedited for a reason. They were called first looks. And the idea of a first look was I was looking at it for the first time, so I'd be searching around for like 15 minutes. This was back when Microsoft didn't release changelogs for leaked builds, because these were all leaked builds back then. So I would have to manually look for what's new, and I'd spend the video doing that. I'd be looking around, clicking here, there, and everywhere. Those videos was like 15, 20 minutes a video, and everybody loved it. And that's kind of the reason why people come to me now, which is an interesting development. But now the idea of my video has shifted from looking around the operating system for the first time to you should know what's new. You're supposed to be showing us what's new. That's never how it's been. I'm always looking for what's new as well. I'm the same as you in that instance. I'm just driving. But
yeah,
I gave in.
People that kind of
this one time I gave in and I recut the video just because.
I think people that kind of I feel like my journalism lecturers, young people, they want things fast, they want things immediate, and I'm like, I get it. Like I watch your build videos. I don't want them to be 20 minutes long, but at the end of the day, if I only wanted to read what was actually new, I could just read the changelog. Like now, because it's not like what it used to be. When you did it, and it was, I'm looking for where is it? We needed to watch a video of you finding it. But Gabe literally is just like, this is everything that's new. This is what's broken. See you next week.
Yeah, it's like whatever.
He's nice. It's nice of him. Makes our job really easy. You can just copy and paste his changelog. It's excellent for everything except your videos.
Well, there's always he mentions the biggest changes. There's always little ones, which I don't actually look for no more. But there are some usually littler changes that aren't mentioned in the official blog post. But regardless, I new build.
Yeah, exactly.
New build. You know what else was new this week?
Oof. If I had the OneNote, I'd know. But no, go ahead.
Surface Pro 4 and Surface Book updates. Finally.
Stuff, yeah?
If you're you know what? This update came out literally the day before general availability of the Surface Book in other countries other than the USA, which makes sense, really. Microsoft finally fixed the power management issues both Surface Pro 4 and Surface Book users were experiencing. So if you don't know, if you bought a Surface Book or a Surface Pro 4 when they were initially launched in the US or in the UK for the Surface Pro 4, your product more or less wouldn't be able to sleep most of the time. You'd lock it, the screen would go off, you'd think, okay, that's what it's supposed to do. But the device would randomly wake itself up and begin using CPU like crazy and just get overheat and just drain its battery pretty much. And that was an issue up until 2 days ago. The Surface Book and the Surface Pro 4 have been on the market since October, around there. So it's been a while, and they only just got around to fixing it. Still, they have fixed it, so that's good news. And I can confirm, although one of the first day I installed it, the Surface didn't sleep, but I can confirm now my Surface sleeps just fine. So it looks like Microsoft has fixed it.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of mixed. Is everyone having just universally better performance with the power stuff now?
Yep, looks like it.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, it's just fixed. I mean, hooray, right? I mean, Panos Panay wrote a blog post describing how we're the best and the customers who buy the Surface Book are the best and whatever else. So thanks, Panos. Panos thinks I'm the best.
Well, yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, yeah. I guess I can see people getting frustrated if you're in the States. I don't think most consumers want to beta test stuff. And that was a pretty glaring issue. But I'm glad, like you said, for people in the UK, they'll probably just view it as like a day one update, yeah? They kind of, buy Surface Book or get shipped the first day it's here, and then they just, there's an update today, all right, sure.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we should also mention how the Surface Book actually went on sale this week.
That's true, yeah. Well, there's a Surface event this week in England, but that was because the Surface Book is going on sale in England.
Yeah, and these Lumia 650 went on sale on the same day, which is interestingly timed. So you could actually, if there were physical Microsoft stores in the UK, you could walk into a Microsoft store, which they aren't. You could walk in, buy a Surface Book and a Lumia 650 on launch day. I mean, if you pre-ordered them from Microsoft's online store, they would arrive on the same day technically. So I guess that's the same thing. But yeah, you could have got 2 new devices from Microsoft that day. Although, to be fair, if you're buying a Surface Book, you're probably buying a Lumia 950 XL or not a 650.
Yeah, it's interesting. I actually, that's probably where I'm curious on the comments how they view it. I used to be, and I admit I'm still tempted by like the highest end stuff. Like we'll get into some rumors on the HP Elite X3 leaks and stuff, and I'm salivating over some of those specs, and I admit it. But the more I've gotten on Windows Phone, the more I realize if you have the right mid-range device, you don't need the high-end stuff, depending on what it is. But I think for you and I think a lot of people, at least 1 or 2 of your devices needs to be top of the line. Like you could probably get away with a mid-range phone if you have a really good tablet. You know what I mean?
I'm not entirely sure because I see it as if I'm buying the high-end tablet, I want to buy the high-end smartphone as well.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Yeah, I wouldn't buy. I don't think I'd buy like a really, really high-end phablet if I already had like an 8-inch tablet. You know what I mean?
The 8-inch tablet, 8-inch tablets are weird for me. I wouldn't necessarily buy a high-end 8-inch tablet because the only reason I'm buying an 8-inch tablet is for lightweight web browsing. So that's true. That upcoming Windows 10 Mobile Alcatel 8-inch tablet, I'm all for, regardless of its super low specifications.
Are you going to get a Bluetooth so you can actually use it as a phone?
No.
No.
I don't plan on using it as a phone. It would just be purely a... although it'll be really annoying because it does that stupid pop-up SIM card error, whatever it is, no SIM card inserted. I hope Microsoft finds a way to just not have that as a thing.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, because I've run like a phone when I did like a review on the 640. I just switched my SIM. I wasn't going to get 2, so I just used the 640 as my primary driver, my only driver, really. But I also had the 9, and you get that pop-up, SIM missing error, which does get annoying.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, I think as people get kind of muddled with more and more devices doing similar things, this is a laptop and a tablet, this is, whatever. I don't think you need high-end in every single price point. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's fun. Is there anything else that went on sale this week? I guess like the little wireless adapter. I guess was that announced or is it on sale?
Announced. I think that's coming.
Yeah, all right. There you go.
I don't understand Microsoft's announcement and then long wait for things. Although to be fair, the 650 was announced and launched on the same week, which was very nice. But like the 950 was in the UK at least, it was announcement in October, not available till December, which was a long time.
Yeah, there was a long wait because it was kind of there wasn't an official announce date. It was just kind of like, well, when are we doing this?
Yeah, it was like I think in the US it was late November. And the UK was early December, which is ridiculous. I mean, the Surface Book announced, for the UK at least, announced October, not out till February. Not out till yesterday, so there you go.
Yeah.
And what that makes it annoying because those of you in the UK buying a Surface Book now, the new one comes out in, less than half a year.
Right.
Ridiculous. Or maybe not less than half a year, but, around about half a year.
Yeah. Huh. Well, that's about for the sales and the Redstone stuff, yeah?
Yep.
Or we got some, as I call them, Windows 10 Outsider builds, which I say somewhat in jest, because I didn't jump on the Insider program until it was almost ready. But we got some non-Insider, which is their term, builds. Specifically, Windows 10 Mobile, build 10,586.107, which we talked about pretty much at length before, but now that's rolling out to non-Insiders on the 950, 550, and I believe, Zach, you said it's also on the 650, right?
It's on any phone running Windows 10 officially.
Okay, so if you're officially running Windows 10 Mobile, you can get 10.586.107.
To be fair, what you can do, if you could still upgrade to 10.586.0, you could do that, opt out of the Insider preview, reset your phone, and receive .107 because you're on the stable channel. So any phone running Windows 10 Mobile gets this if you're not an Insider.
So at some point in time, we're going to have this intersection, and it's going to be number of users of Windows altogether, and strictly people who are on Insider programs. And at some point, those numbers will be the same. No,
I highly doubt this.
No. But for all the Insiders that want to do that sort of thing, preview, release, ring, and opt out, whatever, it's there. 10.586.107. I've found it to be quite stable. I don't think there's no new features or anything, but it's just. I think this is we're running out of things that can happen before it's officially released.
Just more bad. I think 107 might be the actual rollout build.
You think so?
Because I haven't checked. I don't believe there are any new cumulative updates for mobile internally being tested right now. 107 is the latest everywhere.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's great. I mean, I'm not going to 10.5. The first 10.586 build, which you said was what? Was it 0 or was it .04?
0, yeah.
.0. So I don't think that one was quite ready for production.
It's come a long way, I'd say.
But we've had this poll, and we had thousands of people say it wasn't ready yet. So I'm very curious to see what they do. But they can't put this off forever. They eventually need to start rolling this out to pre-existing device, even if it's like what they were saying. These 10 devices can get it. Over time, we'll work on getting other devices on there. Like the 930 should be officially running Windows 10 Mobile. There are other devices that should be running it.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to move this rollout story up because we might as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Talking about 107. Microsoft Mexico support Facebook page, wasn't it, or something? Microsoft Mexico support this week said Windows 10 will officially begin rolling out for mobile on February 29th, which is next week, I think. When is next week?
No, it's over a week, but it's about a week and a half.
So it'll be a Monday. It'll be the last day of February, a Monday, it is a Monday, so it is a work day, so that is entirely plausible. As I said, 107 is the current latest patch for mobile internally and externally, so they haven't compiled any new ones since, so that means unless they find something next week, I don't think they will compile a new one, so 107 could very well be the build that they roll out. They could roll out 107 on the 29th, and then if they need to, just roll out a new patch later, because that's fine. They can do that with the Windows as a Service thing. At this point, Sean, would you say 107 is ready?
I've only used it on the 930, which admittedly has pretty high specs compared to what other people have done.
I've used it on all sorts. I'm even using it on a device that actually doesn't run Windows 10. So the Samsung Active S, it works, and it works pretty good. So
yeah, I don't see a reason to hold it off that much longer, based on my experience. I think the one was it .86 was right before 107 in terms of Insider build, yeah.
.86, what?
I think it was .86, then jumped to 104, yeah.
I don't remember. 7.9 or 7.1? No, it was 7.1.
Was that it? Oh yeah. Maybe, sorry, yeah, you're right. So it made that jump, and I noticed a difference in battery life and some other things that I liked quite a bit. Because one of the things, my fiance's phone, I don't want to put her on a software that she's going to hate. But I finally got to a point where I said the battery life is good enough for me on Windows 10 Mobile that I would actually recommend it to someone I care about and actually care. I don't want to. I wouldn't. Some of the early preview builds, as you would expect from a preview, you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy.
No.
But for I want to be able to recommend to my friend. Yeah, I think it's fine for me.
My threshold for quality must be lower than yours because I upgraded my girlfriend's 735 to Windows 10.586.0 and let it just upgrade through the official methods to .29.
Well, I was kind of hoping that there would be an official rollout, so I didn't want to push it. But you and I were talking pre-show or off-air or whatever. You can get on there and then opt out and then just get official builds anyway. And I'm probably going to do that.
I'll probably write up a tutorial next week if I get the time about how to air quotes officially get Windows 10 mobile now, because not many people know this. Because Microsoft's marketing for the Insider program is very interesting. The release preview, in fact, all of them right now are offering production builds. The fast ring and the slow ring, I believe, install the pre-release certificate still, although I'm sure Team Name will correct me if I'm wrong there. But the release preview ring doesn't. The release preview ring is installing production builds. It's not installing any pre-release certificates, and it never will because it's for current branch, which, as we spoke about last week, is where all the stable public things go. So if you're running a current branch build, you're running whatever's available for the public. So you can actually, on Windows Phone 8.1, you can opt into the Insider program, select the release preview ring, install Windows 10, then opt out of the release preview ring just to the production thing, uninstall the Insider app, and be officially upgraded to Windows 10. The next official update for Windows 10 that's released, you will receive Insider ring or Outsider ring. That's just how.
Which is good, because then you don't have to reset your device or bump back and forth or somehow switch from a .107 Insider preview to a .107 non-Insider preview. You don't have to do any of that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So that's good. Not that you normally would, but I'm just saying. Some users would be turned off or confused on that process, but it's nice that you could do that.
Team Note says, how would I know? Well, I always assume you think you know everything about the Insider program. That's the only reason why. It's my bad. He hasn't been on the Insider train for like over a year, he says. My bad. Let's move on.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, it's my story again. Oh, no, it isn't. You moved it. Oh, it's my story again.
They're moving to that one. No, it's fluid, mate. That's why we get those live updates. Still your story, but you got a new phone this week. The Lumia 650 went on sale, and you got one, and you actually, much to the surprise of those who follow Zach on Twitter, actually had something shipped to you the right day that it said it would. Yeah. Yeah,
but it came in a box that had been beaten. The box had absolutely been smashed to bits.
That's true. If you check his Twitter, it was just mangled.
Yeah, and even the UPS. Every time I complain about UPS. The UPS support Twitter account always replies to me. They're like, "How can we help?" I don't even talk to them. I don't even
deliver my package on time.
Yeah, or just in good condition. I don't know what I'd prefer: good condition or faster. Because they got.
Well, you said I saw like the whole end of it was just like crushed. Yeah, the box, not the phone, but
which is lucky because the actual box on the inside was on the other side, so it was all in one corner. But on this side, it had been crushed together. Like, it was just ridiculous. But yes, this is the Lumia 650. It's Microsoft's latest Lumia offering, and it's actually not bad. It's a low-end smartphone. It's Snapdragon 212 processor running with a gigabyte of RAM, 720p AMOLED screen, which is actually not too shabby for a 5-inch device. And it feels great because it has that metal brushed metal edge, which actually just feels good. So if you've ever held a Lumia 830 or 930, it feels a little bit like that, except it's not as premium as you think it will feel. Like, I was expecting it to feel really great. It feels nice, don't get me wrong, but it's very light, so it feels kind of flimsy at the same time. And with the plastic back, it's kind of like, oh yeah, so you can definitely feel that it's not like an iPhone, for example. And to be fair, you're paying 160 quid, so you wouldn't be expecting iPhone-like quality anyway. But it's definitely a step up from the 950, being that a little bit of metal is better than no metal at all. And of course the 550 as well, which I got them all in white, so it's gonna they're not showing up on the camera because of the exposure, but there you go. So far I'm really liking it. I'm gonna stick my SIM in it next week and use it entirely as my phone, and I may even keep it as my primary driver, which is very interesting because the 950 XL with a Snapdragon 810 for 3 GB of RAM, QHD screen, whatever it is, compared to the low-end 650. Based on design alone, this is something I would go for.
Now, we should have like giveaways. It's like giveaway Zach's old stuff on the pod. We could boost viewership that way, right? You'd be like, this week, if you tune into the podcast, we're going to say code words every 15 minutes. And if you say all the code words, you'll be entered for a chance to win blah, blah, blah. And it could be like your old phone or like an Xbox that's thrown away. Or you're like, I have a tablet I don't use anymore. Who wants it? People go nuts. We should do this.
Yeah, we should do that. But I like
my you have technology you'll never use again.
Not true.
Really?
I use my 640 all the time for other stuff.
When's the last time you used your HP Stream?
You say that. Where is it? It's somewhere. I had it out yesterday. Literally yesterday. I was trying to install the new build on it because I couldn't get it.
It's just to put a build on it.
But I was trying it, so yeah.
You didn't use it to watch Netflix.
It's here, right in front of me.
Okay, there you all. I'm gonna stand corrected.
Yeah, right here. I think it's on still. Yeah, it's on. Look. I was using it yesterday, so I win.
All right then. Maybe we don't have anything to give away.
Sorry.
Anyway, well, now you and I talk about this. 650 runs a Snapdragon 212, while the 640 runs a Snapdragon 400.
Yes.
In numbers-wise, benchmarks, people can say which is better, which is worse. In your everyday actual use,
you won't notice much of a difference.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to buy a Lumia and you're torn between the 640 or the 650, I would say 650.
Yeah, especially with that brushed metal, some people like that.
Yeah,
I would point out now.
I showed it to a few people who aren't, tech savvy. I was like, oh, it looks like an iPhone. That was their immediate thing. It looks like an iPhone. And I think not only because of the metal size, but because of the white face. Because that's a rarity for Lumia handsets. This is the first Lumia I think to have a white face on the white model. Because everything else so far, like on the 950 for example, this is the white 950. It has a black front and a white back. That's what classes as the white. But on the 650, it's white all round. So that's kind of I guess half the reason why it looks like an iPhone to non-techies.
I think that's almost a good thing, honestly.
Yeah, no. So I think it's a good thing as well.
You don't want to be like I like my 930. I've had a couple people notice it before, but it's not an iPhone. Like when people see it, which you might like, but to some marketing, people want to look like they have a nice phone. So if they don't want to look weird, some people want to look separate. That's fine too. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I think 650 is good. Too muddled because there's a 550 in my opinion, which is only £60 cheaper. But whatever.
If they had given this a Snapdragon 400 and given it a Snapdragon, named it the 730 or the 750, sorry, would you suggest that would have been a better idea? Yeah,
I think so. 550, 650 too close in my opinion, in price point, and people are going to get confused on the differences and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. All right then. Well, moving on to more phone stuff. We talked about these rumors last week, I think. So I don't want to run through everything in like a boring way. So I'm going to go through this a bit quickly, but do want to put everything in there if you haven't heard this before. There's developing rumors of spec leaks and images of the HP Elite X3, which I think previously had like a Falcon thing attached to it. According, people say it was the HP Falcon, but it's apparently going to be running this Elite X3 naming scheme. Now there's some leaks from EV-Leaks. Is it EV-Leaks or EV-Leaks?
I say EV-Leaks.
All right. That nice fella, he's on Twitter quite a bit. Give him a follow. He does have a lot of rumors and this sort of thing. So that is useful. I'll run through some of this. 5.96-inch quad HD display, which, as people have pointed out, very specific sizing. You can't make it 6 inches. Qualcomm's Snapdragon 820 quad-core processor, which puts that top tier for all Windows phones. 4 gigabytes of RAM, 16-megapixel rear camera, which I think is slightly lower than the original. People used to say 2012 for cameras, rear front. The latest one, rumors, say 16.8. Obviously, these are all unconfirmed. Storage, blah, 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 SD, 32 gigs. Oh, here's interesting bits. This rumor says iris scanner and fingerprint scanner, or reader, for Windows Hello. USB 3.0 Type-C and key charging, continuum support, and IP67 dust and water resistance, which I'll get into in a bit. That's a separate topic, though it's obviously related. But let's talk a bit through these specs. If these come out to be what they really are, this is one of the best Windows phones you could buy.
It will be the best one, I think.
Some would point out the camera's probably going to be... Most people think HP is not going to deliver the highest camera. I don't honestly know one way or the other, but that's what I've seen people saying.
Oh, but it's like everything else is top class.
Yeah, you're looking at... it's got as much RAM as a Surface Pro 2.
Right. I mean, it's like, sure, it may have a pretty poor camera, but it will still have a camera, right?
I'm also not sure it's going to be a poor camera, but Lumias do. I mean, they're pretty good cameras, so
Yeah.
I could understand people wanting, saying that it might be a step down. We'll have to see in practice because you can't just look at megapixels. You got to look at processing and a bunch of other factors that go into what makes a good camera. Is it Qi charging? According to Jonathan, it's Qi, not Key. My fault. But yeah, I mean, it's got just about everything you want from a Windows phone if these are the actual specs that it turns out to be. What do you think of a fingerprint scanner? And then also, what do you think of having both?
Both, I mean, more options, right? Always.
I guess that seems like it'd be raising the price for when you really could pick one or the other.
I don't think a fingerprint scanner is that expensive to manufacture.
Really? I guess that's been around for quite a few iterations of smartphones now.
Yeah.
Yeah, where would you put a fingerprint scanner on a Windows phone?
On the back.
On the back, because on the iPhone they build it into the home button.
Yeah.
But Windows doesn't have that layout.
Unless there's some interesting technology going on in which the screen itself is the fingerprint reader. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
you put your finger just on the screen that's off and it unlocks. That would be wicked. That would be really cool.
Maybe someday. These aren't set in there, but there is a picture of what's allegedly the HP Elite X3. It looks like it has front-facing speakers. Have you seen this photo on that was leaked out?
I haven't looked at it, no.
It could just be a design choice, I guess. But it looks like on the bottom it's front-facing speaker. I love front-facing speakers on devices. I think that needs to be just standard, just across the board.
Do you really?
Well, you never listen to things from the side of your phone. I turn on a podcast and then I just flip my phone upside down, So I hope it has front-facing. But anyway, let me get into some of these other specs real quick. So I actually did research on this. So, credit me for that, I guess. I actually looked things up. We don't just get on here and talk for an hour. If the rumors to be believed, it has an IP67 dust and waterproof resistance rating, which is actually somewhat significant. Let me get an example here. So this is from Trusted Reviews. It's just breaking down what that is in effect. So remember that if you saw adverts for like the Samsung Galaxy S4 Active, it was marketed as like you're next to a pool and someone splashes water on it, just like general that sort of, it's scuba diving with it, but it's actually dust and water resistant. Well, if this is what it is, it turns out spec wise, the IP67 would mean that it could be submerged underwater up to 1 meter for up to 30 minutes, which obviously you're not going to, I'm not going to, well, if I get a review unit, I might actually do this. But in practice, this means, if it's raining, you shouldn't have to care about it if you drop it in a sink, or unfortunately, if you drop it in a toilet, which people probably end up doing, it's not going to break your phone completely just for that to happen. So this is what I've asked for a long time. It would be real-world, waterproof, or water-resistant. I mean, it depends. Probably water-resistant would be safer to actually say. But I think this would be great. I really think that this differentiates it from other Windows phones because it's that real-world use. If I spend £600, or I don't know what this would cost, but not $600, maybe $600 for some high-end phones like the latest iPhone, could be like what, $600 plus?
Yeah. Again, I don't think this flagship will be aimed at consumers. Though. I think it might be more a business thing. So it might be a little bit. It might be a little more expensive than that, specifically because it's a business phone.
I think so. But it's also, I should have done this too. There's also some military rating for 1 foot drop protection. That doesn't seem like much. Dropped my phone for more than a foot before. But yeah, in any event, I mean, this would be excellent if this was what we got. Would you actually consider a non-Lumia or Windows-made Windows phone?
I said before I would never consider.
Even if it was this one?
Even if it was this one.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. I definitely want a review unit to see. I'd think about it.
The trust isn't there with OEMs. Like they can just abandon whenever they want.
Yeah. let me go through a few of the comments here from people talking about it. As I said, they're worried about the camera because the rumor at the moment is I think it's single L. Let's see. They're complaining about the flash. Sorry, people are the comments are moving too quick, but people are worried about it's who makes it, that sort of thing. LED flash, is that coming? Just the Lumia cameras are so high end. I will admit, if there's a drop off, they're right. Some people just won't do it. Yeah. So I would definitely want a review unit, and I will if I get a review unit. And if I break it, I don't have to pay for it. I might actually do some on-camera waterproof testing.
Ooh, and get in a pool and take some photos.
Yeah, maybe put it in a fish tank or something and then just film it. Or a text message from inside a fish tank.
Yeah.
Or I could stream from inside the fish tank. I could record, that sort of thing.
Yeah. You know what else this week?
What happened this week?
Preview tags were dropped. And
that's true for Outlook. Yeah.
The new Outlook website began rolling out. Now, I don't think I have it yet. I can check right now, but I don't think I have it.
Yeah, I don't.
I think it's rolling out in North America first.
We're in the UK. Sense. We don't get stuff.
Microsoft doesn't love us. Yeah, I don't have it yet. But the new Outlook brings a new user interface with updated features, I believe. The Outlook.com.
Oh, there are a lot of new features. This Outlook actually honestly makes me want to use the website instead of my app when I'm at my desk.
It might more important upgrade to Outlook.com may be the introduction of third-party add-ons. Wow. There you go. Third-party add-ons are a thing. It's
Wunderlist, PayPal. There are a lot of different add-ons that people are looking at.
It's now possible to edit attached Office documents whilst replying to an email thanks to the new side-by-side editing feature. You'll also be able to attach files from Dropbox and Box right from your mail with the option to send files via links rather than attachments. The new email experience also introduces an interesting @mention feature, just like on Twitter, which helps you to quickly add someone to an email conversation, and that will also work in calendar invitations as well.
It looks really smooth. You watch that video, those @mentions, they just boop, pop it up there in the address bar. So nice.
The UI looks great. It looks like the Office desktop app.
It really does. It looks like Office desktop app, but more powerful, which, I'm not thrilled that it's better than the app, but... Skype integration looks really good. That sort of thing. You easily jumping back and forth. But I think it honestly makes me want to use it. If you use Outlook and you get the new one, I think it's definitely worth looking at.
It's funny because I've seen loads of people who had the preview for ages in the UK, and I never had it.
There are some add-ons that, if you watch the video, which obviously they break it down much more succinctly than we probably would, but Uber, PayPal, Evernote, Boomerang, and then there's also Wunderlist and Yelp, and then Jiffy. You get GIF support, so you get your GIFs in your Outlook. I think it's good. I mean, I genuinely like Outlook. I was always a Gmail kid just because that was the popular thing to have.
Right.
But Outlook's got a lot of good features. I could see why business-oriented people would definitely use it.
Yeah.
And I like the new look.
Yeah, the UI is very nice.
Do you think it's
needed refresh? I've got to say, a much needed refresh.
Do you think it's too touch-centric?
No, I don't think so. Not from the pictures.
Some have complained that the UI is too big for a mouse and keyboard kind of setup.
Sounds like they're complaining about Windows 8. They used to complain about there.
It's a hard compromise with. The bottom line is Windows 10 and anything attached to it through Microsoft is going to have this compromise where it works on tablets and PCs, which occasionally you're going to get things that are too small, and sometimes you're going to get things that are too big, depending on what your medium is. And I've seen that there are contact or right-click menus on Windows 10 that are just way too large for, you right-click something and it takes up the entire screen full of these options, just because it's theoretically you're able to, touch it with your tab, but then you right-click on something else and it's small, which for a tablet might be really inconvenient. So
can't win.
Yeah. Well, not to be left out of the email game, Gmail, you can... This isn't like a huge Microsoft story. It's mostly a Google story, I guess. But they have this thing out called Gmailify. What do you think of that naming scheme, Gmailify?
Is this from Microsoft or from Google?
I think it's from Google.
Oh, okay. If it was from Microsoft, I was just
Google has a solution. They call it Gmailify, so I'll say it's Google.
Okay.
Anyway, bottom line is you can use an Outlook account to gain traditionally Gmail features, and they have a video on that. It's probably worth looking at. I just thought it was interesting. The week that Microsoft rolled out all of these Outlook improvements, they say, "Oh, Outlook, look at this. You can work with that." And then Google was like, "Yeah, but you can also you like Outlook? Well, you come on Google. You can use Outlook on your Google." So I just thought it was kind of interesting timing. Comes out the same day.
Yeah.
I would think most people. Is Outlook actually popular? I mean, I use it.
I use it. I mean, I know it was the email place to go in the mid-noughties.
But the noughties, that's the British for the 90s. Or the British for the 2000s.
The 2000s. The noughties.
There's a naught. There's a zero in the middle. But I didn't know.
We call it the noughties here.
But to us Americans, it's, you got to get that translation.
I had no idea that wasn't an American thing as well. Do you not say the word naught for zero?
No, that's not a thing.
Interesting. Do you say O for zero, or is it just zero?
If I was reading a phone number, I'd say O, like 301.
Is that American, or do you do that in America, or do you just do that because you live here?
No, I did that before. Okay. 301's pretty. That's my area code at home is 301. Okay. So it's pretty standard to say instead of 30. If you're, if it's a job interview and you like really want to make sure someone hears it, whatever. But no, there's no problem.
Yeah, no. If I'm in like a professional phone call, it'll be zero. But if I'm just talking to, O to O.
Mm-hmm. You get those British American differences. It's very odd. You get the ZZ. Someone at one point decided something was off, so they just changed it by 2 letters. But
yeah, we should move on to the last story of the week.
I guess we can, but we got to stretch this out somehow, mate.
Oh, we've got 8 minutes. We can spend 8 minutes talking about Xbox. Before we begin, let's talk about Tomb Raider, because I finished Rise of the Tomb Raider this week.
Yeah, do that for the next 6.5 minutes.
It was great. I enjoyed the storyline. I've actually, it's actually got me back into the old Tomb Raiders, so Tomb Raider Legend and Underworld, because they're actually not bad games. So I'm replaying through that story again, because I enjoyed the story between Legend and Underworld, which is about Lara looking for her mother, because her mother kind of disappeared. And then the Rise of the Tomb Raider is kind of like the reboot, so it's the Survivor storyline, I think. So the first Tomb Raider reboot was about her learning how to survive, and this one is kind of her utilising her survival features and instincts and whatever else. Really good games, very much enjoyed them, and I'm gonna probably replay it on PC, and I'll replay the first game on Xbox One as well, because why not? Are you into Tomb Raider, Sean?
No, admittedly I'm not. I'm not against it. I don't dislike it. It's just I haven't played it.
Maybe you might enjoy it because it's not like it's a puzzle game really.
Well, I don't mind. I mean, it's like I said, I don't dislike it. It's just literally something I've never played before, so I can't vote one way or the other.
Right.
Let me show you how disconnected I am from Tomb Raider. We did a story on it, and I said in the hip chat with the other staff, I was like, when did Lara Croft stop looking like Angelina Jolie? And they were like, apparently I was like years behind on this change.
Wow.
Because I remember for a long time, I don't know if they
based
cast her.
No, one game I think it was the Angel of Darkness. They based her look on Angelina Jolie.
Right, and that happened, but then that was years ago.
That was like 2003, I think.
Yeah, that's how in I am on. Like I said, mostly video games. We got Halo and Pokemon. That's about it for me.
Well, speaking of Xbox, Microsoft released a new update for the Xbox this week. The February update, is it? Or something. They've rolled out new features for the Xbox One and the Xbox app. These new features include a gamer score leaderboard, which interestingly was there before, although apparently it disappeared. From your profile in the guide, click My Achievements and the restored gamer score leaderboard will display. This allows you to pretty much see how your lead, where your game score is compared to your friends, how much game score you've earned this week or this month compared to your friends, and compete with them in game score races. And another big change, you can now rearrange pins on the homepage, which again was a thing on the old Xbox dashboard, which they got rid of in Windows 10, but they're now bringing it back, which is very nice. So you can now rearrange pins on the home screen and access them offline, which is very nice. The activity feed on the Xbox One gets an update as well, and will now inform you when there are new items in the feed. Games can now also be hidden from the ready to install list, and a use a code shortcut has been improved and added right to the game's store dashboard for redeeming games on DLC. In addition, the update makes Twitch broadcasts easier to watch, and Games Hub and Game Tire will now allow you to easily launch Twitch.tv broadcasts when friends are broadcasting. The community area also sees an update and will now display friend suggestions in a new friend suggestions area, and the friends list in the guide on the Xbox One.
These earth-shattering changes.
Trending items will also be added to this area in both the Xbox and the Xbox app. Due to the recent release of the Xbox One chat pad, the update adds hotkey support to the new Xbox accessory. The Xbox Accessories app also gets updates, which will make adjustments for your Xbox Elite controller easier on Windows 10. Other features, such as the new Avatar Store and Xbox News, which were seen in the beta release for this Xbox app, will also make their official debut thanks to this update. Lastly, when it comes down to the Xbox app on mobile, the update will include a new compact mode, which lets you switch between your friends, messages, and activity alerts. You should see this update roll out as early as tomorrow, which I think is today, since this was written yesterday. Yeah, so it should roll out right now. That was a long change log.
That is, yeah, and little changes, big effects, I guess, when you do that over time.
It was weird. I was reading that because I always forget I'm part of the insider program on Xbox.
Yeah.
So I've had these updates for ages, and I was like, are these new? But yeah, they're new now to the public. Still waiting for Cortana.
What was that?
Still waiting for Cortana and...
Yeah, I don't know where she's at.
Yeah, she's busy playing Halo.
How long has Halo 5 been out?
Since September.
Can we talk about it yet?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it was September.
To get word on it, people would be mad if we talked about the plot of Halo 5.
I want to spoil the ending, because the ending was great.
All right, whatever.
No, we won't talk about it today. We'll talk about it October 27th. It was out.
All right then. Let's close the show on this. There's a press event. I was making sure this was public. There's a press event for the Xbox on February 25th, which is next week.
Yes.
Now this isn't what I say is going to happen at that event. I think you're more in the boat of it's probably just be software stuff, maybe some games. Yeah. I'm
not gonna guarantee. I'm gonna guess. This is my bet here. Windows Store, Universal Apps for Xbox One, new IPs, a few new game showcases. Possibly some hardware-related announcements for the controllers, such as the Elite controller. I don't think they'll announce any new smaller console or anything, although they could do, but I'm doubting it. And Cortana.
So let me ask you: the Xbox, honestly, the Xbox One specifically, obviously, is kind of where it is. We've gone through the history ad infinitum, connect, unbundle, refocus on gaming. Now their ad campaigns are clearly emphasized towards gaming. Where do you think the Xbox One should go? Because obviously its life cycle's not done. They have places they can go. The hardware hasn't reached its limit yet. They're starting to implement Windows 10. What direction do you want the Xbox One to go over the next couple of years?
Upwards.
Upward. No,
I
specific.
want the Xbox to become the hub of everything in my life. I want to be able to stream my PC games to my Xbox. I want to be able to stream my Xbox games to my PC, which I can already do pretty much. I want to be able to run Windows 10 apps on my Xbox. Cortana. I want to be able to text on my Xbox. I want whatever happens on my desktop to show up on my Xbox. Any notifications, anything like that, so I can deal with them. So I never miss a beat.
Yeah, I think the Xbox. It's weird because personally, this is a PC centric. I admit I was never a PlayStation person. I think the Xbox offers a lot.
Oh yeah.
I think these universal apps are going to be really good. You're going to start seeing, just things I don't know how people are going to scale them. Obviously, there are apps that are on Xbox that we don't have yet on phone or tablet. But hopefully over time that doesn't happen anymore. And you get some really comprehensive, well-built apps on Windows 10 that I'd love to see the complete, fully featured version jump onto Xbox. Hulu just released a really good app. I haven't used it personally, but the feature list is quite impressive. Cortana, you could say, Cortana, start playing this show, and it'll play like where you left off, and like you don't have to click anything. Like, there's a lot of integration if you're using Windows 10 apps that I would love to see jump into Xbox One to make it a more complete. Like you say, if you have all the hardware with the Kinect, or you just using Cortana, you're working with it. I think the Universal App Platform actually has a lot of room to grow on the Xbox One. But do you think that's more just like you and me because we love apps? Or do you think that would actually affect gamers who don't really care? That it just kind of... I think to a lot of people, the Xbox One happens to be made by Microsoft, but they don't especially care.
I think apps will benefit gamers. Absolutely. Like the YouTube app, for example. YouTube app's one of the most used apps on the Xbox. I guess Netflix would be one of them as well. Just video app, like entertainment-specific apps. I don't expect Tweetium to be an app that gamers really care for, although it absolutely could be. I think it'll be more entertainment and video streaming apps that kick off on the Xbox. But yeah, I mean, the event on the 25th, I think, will be it'll mostly be about how Windows 10 and Xbox One are the same, how they share the same services, how Xbox Live is coming to the PC, how games will be cross-play and whatever else. I think it'll be more about that than anything, which gamers aren't happy with, apparently. Xbox One gamers, anyway. They're like, we need the exclusives all for ourselves, and that's just not how it works.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Well,
all right. Well, I think that's it for this week's show, yeah?
Yep.
All right, well, let's go ahead and officially wind down. We'll switch over to the after party. Again, we'd love it if you can join us live. We understand that some of you can't because of timing things. We have a worldwide audience, so, I have no idea what time it is for some of you. It's probably pretty ridiculous to try to tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern time. But anyway, this has been the WinBeta Podcast. I believe it was episode 53 for the week of February 19th, 2016. As always, I'm one of your co-hosts, Sean Mike. You can find me on Twitter at Sean_Michael_UK. And then the co-host is...
Oh, Zach. Sorry, I was reading a tweet from Donald Trump. Yes, Zach. You can find me on Twitter at ZachB_.
And you can find winbeta.org, obviously, at that URL itself. But you can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, whatever social media you want to use to be able to get your news feed from us. Definitely stay tuned. We'll have all your updates for Windows 10, Microsoft-related news, anything like that. Try to stay on top of all that news so you don't have to kind of aggregate that all there for you. We'd love to see you next week on the show. Make sure to tweet at us, tweet at, Zach and I, tweet at the other writers, that sort of thing. All right, thanks a lot, guys. We will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.